Do you feel more comfortable when you've been working with someone for a long time, or?
It definitely does help when you have that familiarity, when you're close with somebody, close friends as well. I might hold the record. I've had about 250 partners in my career, and I list them all in my book, which I wrote, which came out about a year and a half ago. I have a list in the back of all the partners. But I'm real fortunate. I've really enjoyed working with each and every one of them, and many of them, it's only been for one game, whether it's hockey or some of the other sports. But others, Dave Maloney, 20 years. Some of my football partners, I worked with Darryl Moose Johnston for 10 years, Tony Siragusa, Moose and Goose. That was a great run for 10 years. I worked with Tim Green for 7 years, who's battling ALS. He's got the most positive attitude of anyone I ever met, and his daughter is actually married to Adam Fox. They had a baby last week.
Oh, wow.
And I remember when she was born. I was working with Tim when she was born, and now she's married to a Ranger, ironically. But Tim and I worked together for 7 years. My current football partner, Jonathan Vilma, former New Orleans Saint, we've been together for 5. But it does, when you work with someone on a consistent basis, you have that chemistry, that camaraderie.
Yeah. So how does it work if you only have one game? Or let's say this is game 1, you and me. We sit down. I assume...
I hope we get to do one day. I'd love for you to join us in the booth.
Yeah, again, I think
whether it's with MSG, TNT,
maybe football.
You'd be great.
No, but I
great.
assume you lead in that conversation. This is how I like it, and then try to just be on the same page in terms.
Definitely try to be on the same page. I'll do a little research on the person's career. It's usually someone I'm familiar with, but I might try to lead them into some stories about when they were a player or a coach. Sometimes I could be working with someone who's new, who's never worked a game before. So then I am sort of taking the lead. Other times I could be stepping in. I worked 3 games with Troy Aikman, for example, in 2007, where he was already established as one of the top analysts in the sport. So, it's probably a little different if it's someone who's on his level or if it's someone who's working a game for the first time. If it's one of the sports that I'm not as familiar with, I'll try to lean on them for their expertise. I had some great analysts during the water polo this past summer at the Olympics, and they were former players and Olympians, so I would lean on them a lot. We had Wayne Gretzky with us in the booth for a game, the outdoor game in Hamilton a couple of years ago, so that was a lot of fun. It was more storytelling than analyzing the game.
Yep.
It was Buffalo and Toronto, but with Wayne, he has such unbelievable stories. You've spent a lot of time around him now, so with that one, we were calling the game, but we were also just having a conversation about the sport of hockey.
I mean, I have a crazy stat. In 2009, you covered 4 different sports in 4 days. NFL game, MLB playoff celebration, Rangers game, and Knicks season opener. I mean, okay. How do you prepare for that?
There have been some crazy stretches. There have definitely been some week to 10-day periods where I've had 3 or 4 sports. Now, oftentimes in October, November, December, it's pretty frequent where I'll have 3 different sports in a week. Football on Sunday, hockey during the week with the Rangers or TNT, and then some of the Knicks broadcasts that I do, depending on the schedule. So 3 in a week is not uncommon, and I love it. I love those times. There's such fun times in the year when everything's going on. I just feel like you have to be organized, get ahead with the work and the preparation. I mentioned my checklist earlier that I go through, and I get a lot of work done on planes, in hotel rooms, in airports, in Ubers, in taxis.
You're away from home a long time.